Okay, guys, I want to talk about this week 4 project 3, subtract, add, and distort type, the begin phase. Okay, so this assignment is really, really cool. It's a blast. You guys are going to love this. And back in week 2, there were several people who had mentioned their admiration for Stefan Sagmeister and his experimental typographic approach. And this is a chance for us to all flex our Sagmeister muscles. And so what we're going to do in this assignment is we're going to look for our surrounding environment to create words. So typically we have, in my announcement, I had stated that, typically we have several different ways that we can present typography. We're used to using digital typography to present our message, but there are times where digital type doesn't really encapsulate the message that we need to put forth. So we hand render our type to create a message. This week, we're going to take that whole notion a step further. And we're going to say, where did that go? There it is. We're going to say the way we're going to express our typographic message this week is to look for our surrounding environment to do that. And I'm going to give you 3 or 4 examples of how to do this, and you guys can run from it from there. Remember, this is experimentational. There's really no right or wrong. It's just a matter of you really stretching the boundaries of your imagination and really pushing this thing to its creative capacity. Okay, so we're going to make words by adding to our environment, subtracting from our environment, or distorting elements in our environment. The example here is this: first example is garden. The concept is gardening, and the 3 ways that we're going to create words is by subtracting, we're going to mow a word into the lawn. By adding, we're going to build a word by using flowers or plants. So we could take a bunch of flowers, go over to the driveway, and create a word out of those flowers on the driveway and photograph it. And then the 3rd way, keeping with the same concept, garden concept, is that we're gonna create a word by taking the garden hose and distorting it and bending it and creating a word out of it. Okay, let me give you another example. My next example has to do with food. Okay, so to subtract from food to create a word, I could take a banana and a knife and I could carve a word into the banana, right into the peel of the banana. Okay, that would be subtracting from the environment. Adding to the environment would be taking the actual bananas or some other food and assembling a word out of the bananas. All right, and then photographing that. And then, of course, distort would be, let's say we take the bananas and peel them all, and we create a word by distorting and bending the banana peels to create a word, okay? Let me give you a 3rd example. This one is going to do with hair. This one's kind of a little bit more graphic. Well, it's actually it's interesting, but I'm not that I would expect anybody to do this, but this is just another example, okay? So our 3rd has to do with hair, all right? To subtract from the environment, you could actually shave a word into the side of your head, into your hair, or into your beard, or shave a word right into your beard, shave a word right into the side of your head. Okay, that would be subtracting from the environment. Adding to the environment would be taking those hairs that you just shaved out and assembling them, building a word out of the hairs. Okay, and then a 3rd, by distorting, you could actually take the shaving cream and create a word. So now you see all 3 are tied to the same concept. All 3 are creating words from subtraction, addition, or distorting. Okay, hope that makes sense. So I think those are 3 very excellent examples for you to ponder while you're thinking of your own solutions. Now, this is an assignment where I would highly recommend you don't just jump right into it. Think about it for 2 days. Really think about it, guys. The more you think about this, the more creative it's going to be, the more interesting it's going to be, the more successful it's going to be. Now, this assignment is a little different than the others in that we're not going to be submitting thumbnails or roughs for approval or for comment moving forward. Basically, what you're going to do this week on the due date of this assignment, which I will post, and it is the amended due date due to the amended IRMA due date, so check it. It's not Sunday, I believe. I'll leave the date at the end of the announcement. But by the due date of this assignment, you are going to have your 3 words or your words already photographed and already completely done. So in other words, you're going to complete this assignment this week. Okay, choose your subject. Okay, so my subject was food, for example. Explore the messaging opportunities. I would think about how I'm going to create words with food by subtraction, addition, and distortion. Then I would write my sentence describing exactly what I'm doing, and you compose your sentence just like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to carve words into the side of a banana to represent subtraction. I'm going to add a bunch of bananas together and photograph and create a word out of that for addition, and for distortion, I'm going to peel the bananas and I'm going to create a word out of the peels. So that would be your sentence. Then you're going to actually do that. You're going to execute those three things, photograph them, and then include them in your final presentation for this week. Okay, include them when you submit this week. Then, as I said, instead of giving thumbnails and roughs and going through the critique process, we're going straight to your final solution. Then we'll critique. You can take those comments from critique and adjust your solution for next week's final presentation. Project 4, week 4, project 3, subtract, add, distort type final presentation. Okay, so I hope that makes sense, guys. And I left this little video here, and this kind of shows you a couple of little examples. This is from Sagmeister's The Happy Film, and it just shows you a couple of different examples of how you can create words from the environment around you. It's kind of a fun little video. It's not very long. It's just the introduction to that actual the trailer for that actual film. So if you're interested in looking at more, just to find the film, I think you can download it for like $3 or something. But at any rate, so that's what we have for week 4. Everyone's doing fantastic. I think we have some really interesting offspring typefaces, and I think that we're well on our way to really coming up with an interesting portfolio for our experimental typography class. So this week, hopefully, we're going to carry on the same vein here and just really push the creativity here in coming up with these words by adding, subtracting, or distorting the environment around us to create a typographic message. All right, guys. Any questions? I'm right here. I'll be glad to clarify. Please let me know. Thanks, everyone. See you in class.